Today's cool take is going to be looking at Family Guy's life lessons, which is quite ironic. Drop a sub for more vids and please enjoy the video. Number 10. Brian Sings and Swings. Season 4, Episode 19. So here's an odd one. Brian gets into a near-death accident and, like any dog recovering from trauma, decides to join a jazz band. Because obviously, one minute he's drinking martinis, the next he's a crooner snapping his paws like Frank Sinatra. The funny part is, he's actually good. He finds joy in a space you'd never expect him to fit in. And that's kind of what makes this episode sneakily relatable. We all get stuck in routines. Same job, same hobbies, same Netflix shows we pretend we'll finish later. But the second we step out of that bubble, we might stumble into something we didn't even know we were capable of. The lesson? Don't be afraid to try something new. Even if it feels weird, uncomfortable, or out of character, sometimes you end up discovering a whole new side of yourself. And if you bomb at it, hey, at least you'll have a story better than, yeah, I just stayed home again. Number 9. The Simpsons Guy, Season 13, Episode 1. Ah yes, the crossover event nobody asked for, but everybody secretly wanted. The Griffins end up in Springfield, and what happens? Peter and Homer go at each other like two dads fighting over the last riding mower at Home Depot. Meanwhile, Stewie tries to be Bart's new best friend and takes it way too far. The comedy is obviously front and center, but there's a bigger point here. Two completely different families from completely different worlds realize that at the end of the day, they're not so different. Sure, one has blue hair and the other has a talking dog, but both families deal with the same struggles: money, parenting, and occasionally blowing up their own house. The lesson? Communities, families, and people can clash. But if you look past the surface differences, you'll usually find some common ground, or at the very least, a shared hatred of giant chicken fights. Number 8. Road to Rupert, Season 5, Episode 9. This one's a Stewie classic. When his beloved teddy bear Rupert gets sold at a yard sale, Stewie basically drags Brian on a road trip to get him back. Now, on paper, it's ridiculous. All this trouble over a teddy bear. But that's the beauty of it. Stewie's obsession with Rupert isn't really about the toy. It's about comfort, loyalty, and the one thing in his life that never lets him down. And Brian, despite all his sarcastic eye-rolling, goes along for the ride because deep down he knows it matters to Stewie. That's friendship in a nutshell. You don't always get why it's important. You just show up anyway. The lesson? Real friendship is about loyalty. It's not about whether the problem makes sense to you. It's about standing by someone when it matters to them, even if it's over a teddy bear. Or let's be real, in our world, maybe it's over a Wi-Fi password. Number 7. Patriot Games, Season 4, Episode 20. Peter becomes a professional football player, and if you think he handles it with humility and grace, you've clearly never watched Family Guy. He instantly lets fame go to his head, blowing money, alienating friends, and basically turning into the Tom Brady of being insufferable. Of course, it all comes crashing down, because this is Peter Griffin we're talking about. But there's a solid takeaway here. Success, fame, and recognition can feel amazing, but if they come at the cost of your relationships and sanity, they're not really worth much. The lesson? Success is only valuable if you keep it balanced. If you can't share it with the people who matter, all you're left with is a trophy, and maybe a restraining order from Bill Belichick. Number 6, PTV, Season 4, Episode 14. This episode is one of the most iconic in Family Guy history. After the FCC starts censoring everything on TV, Peter launches his own channel where nothing is censored. Predictably, chaos ensues. But the satire makes a good point. Life is messy, humor is messy, and trying to censor everything into bland, safe material ends up sucking all the fun out of it. Same goes for people. If you spend your whole life trying not to offend anyone, you stop being authentic. The lesson? Freedom of expression matters. Say what you mean, even if it ruffles feathers. Sure, you might get bleeped out sometimes, but at least you're being real. Number 5, Road to Rhode Island, Season 2, Episode 13. Brian and Stewie take a road trip, and it's filled with classic jokes, music numbers, and awkward motel stays. But then Brian reconnects with his estranged mother, and suddenly things get emotional. It's easy to forget Brian isn't just a sarcastic dog. He's a character with real baggage. And watching him face his past shows that even the characters who act like they don't care usually do. The lesson: your roots and family connections matter, even if they're complicated. You can't always fix the past, but you can face it, and that makes moving forward a whole lot easier. Number 4, Death is a Bitch, Season 2, Episode 6. Peter fakes his death to get out of paying hospital bills, which, let's be honest, might be the most American thing he's ever done. But when death himself shows up, Peter learns quickly that mortality isn't something you can just laugh off. The episode mixes absurd comedy with a weird amount of wisdom. Death is inevitable, and pretending it doesn't exist doesn't change anything. What it can do is remind you how precious your time really is. The lesson: appreciate life while you have it. Mortality isn't the punchline. It's the reason the punchline is funny in the first place. Number 3, Road to the Multiverse, Season 8, Episode 1. Stewie invents a remote that lets him and Brian jump across different universes. Disney World, futuristic worlds, worlds where everything is backwards. It's one of the most creative episodes the show ever did. But beyond the gimmick, there's something powerful about it. Each universe is just a different perspective, a different way of seeing the same world. And depending on where you land, your life can look magical or completely terrifying. The lesson: perspective changes everything. The world doesn't shift the way you see it does. And sometimes, changing your perspective is all it takes to make life feel like a whole new universe. Number 2, Back to the Pilot, Season 10, Episode 5. This one is pure chaos. Stewie and Brian go back to the very first episode of Family Guy, which is fun nostalgia at first, until Brian warns his past self about 9/11. Yeah, it gets dark, fast. The timeline unravels, the butterfly effect goes wild, and pretty soon they've ruined the world by trying to fix it. It's hilarious, but it also sneaks in some wisdom. You can't rewrite the past without messing up the present. The lesson: mistakes are part of who we are. Instead of trying to erase them, accept them, learn from them, and move forward. Otherwise, you might end up causing World War III. Number 1, Brian and Stewie, Season 8, Episode 17. At number 1, we've got the bottle episode that shocked everyone. No cutaway gags, no side plots, just Brian and Stewie locked in a bank vault. At first, it's just gross-out humor and awkward banter, but as the hours pass, things get real. Brian admits his struggles with depression, even confessing he sometimes doesn't want to live anymore. It's dark, but it's raw, and it's the most human moment the show has ever given us. And the crazy part? Stewie, the evil genius baby, responds with actual compassion. The lesson? Vulnerability makes relationships stronger. When you open up, even about the ugly stuff, you give people a chance to really know you. That honesty builds trust, and sometimes it even saves lives. I thank everyone for watching. Subscribe for more Family Guy content and for the next cool take. Suggestions should be left in the comment section.